Hi, I'm Carmen from On the Money Bookkeeping and welcome to our Business Academy. I'm a qualified accountant, registered BAS agent and fellow member of the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, and I'm here to help answer many of your bookkeeping and business questions. So let's get started. Welcome back to the Business Academy channel, and today we're going to cover employee versus contractor. This is a really complex issue and one that a lot of business owners get wrong, and one that has some very significant potential financial consequences. Now, this issue is complicated by the fact that there are many different definitions depending on whether you're talking about state revenue officers for payroll tax, workers' compensation, superannuation, or whether you need to withhold taxes from their wages. So there are different definitions for what is an employee versus what is a contractor, depending which of these agencies that you're actually referring to. You need to assess that working relationship according to the eligibility criteria of each of these compliance requirements. Now, the penalties for getting it wrong can be quite severe, and it's a business owner's legal obligation to assess the working relationship correctly. Now, deciding whether a worker is an employee or a contractor involves many factors, and there is no single overriding factor in determining the working relationship. So I'm going to cover some of the main tests that are involved in deciding whether a worker is actually an employee or a contractor by law. Now, the first one is the ability to delegate. Can they actually assign the task that you've given them to an employee of their own? What degree of control do they have over how the work is performed? Can they, for example, say to you, well, I have some other jobs booked into my system in the next 2 days. I will come and do that work for you in 3 days' time. If they, however, are being told where to go and when to show up, then they are less likely to be a contractor. Hours of work is another one. Are they being expected to show up at a particular time and work certain hours every single day, or a certain pattern of hours? Is there any expectation of ongoing work? If you're a contractor, you might come in, do a job for a fixed price and then leave. But if you are someone who has an ongoing expectation of hours or jobs, then you may be an employee. What about the level of risk? A contractor might actually be subject to things going wrong and the financial consequences. Employees are not. Other tests also include whether they're paying for their own superannuation, their tools and equipment, their own taxes, the method of payment, whether they're entitled to leave, illness, holidays, or any rostered days off. It's not always as straightforward as the ATO online tool. Often a deeper analysis of the working relationship is needed, and ideally looking at this every 6 months just to review that relationship. If you're in doubt, I highly recommend that you contact your tax agent to have a discussion about whether this applies to you. So now I'm going to provide you some examples of when it can tip from one to the other. So let's take the example of a boat that's being built. Let's just say you engage someone to build a boat for you. They're able to use your yard, but they need to bring their own staff, their own tools, and they're committing to deliver that boat to you at a specific point in time. In this particular situation, they would be deemed to be a contractor. If, however, you were instructing those people to work at specified times, you were controlling the timeline, and they were using your tools, then they would more likely be an employee. So it's really important to have agreements in place for both employees and contractors. Recent court cases have highlighted the need for agreements, as they will be referred to if there is a dispute. The agreement needs to cover all rights and obligations for both parties in a contractor arrangement. So in the link in the description box below, we actually have information about this on the Fair Work Ombudsman website, where you can get additional information and also some links to some advisors' Employment Hero. For more information, please refer to the description box under this video. Remember, like, share and subscribe so that you're notified when our next video goes live next month.